Are you able to describe yourself? How do you
Yes.
describe yourself?
My name is Mary.
Yeah.
I just turned 37 last week.
Yeah, still
Just
young,
had my
yeah.
birthday. Yeah, I feel like I'm 17 though.
Mhm.
And so I have two baby girls. I'm French. I've been in Dubai for 12 years. And I describe myself as like a expert, if you can say, in luxury brands marketing and sales. And so I'm both like a marketing person, a salesperson, and an entrepreneur because I created several businesses that were more or less successful. And yeah, so for me, I'm like very creative, very passionate about client experience. And I love the luxury industry because of the creativity, because when you work for a luxury
Attention
brand,
to details, yeah.
yeah, attention to detail for me is key. I love, it's not good, but I'm really perfectionist, but I'm trying to let go of that. But I love the detail in the client experience, especially because that's where I started with Dior. My first role was in CRM, so everything which has to do with client loyalty. How do you make clients stay with your brand, and what do you do to wow them when they already have everything?
Right.
So I love that. I love like creating, like making people dream, like creating stuff which are like very different and very unique, and unique experiences, like a unique travel or a unique experience. Because for me, what you remember about anything, it's always emotions. Like you don't
Right.
remember what people said or anything. You remember how
they
you
make
felt.
you feel.
Yeah,
How
and
they
it
make
can
you
be.
feel.
It doesn't matter if it's like painful, like scary or happy, but the emotion is what you remember. So that's why I always try to create, and that's why I'm really passionate about marketing, especially for luxury brands. But in the brands, I love the stories because if you work maybe for, I'm sure every brand has a story like Carrefour or big brands. When you work for Dior or Hermès or Cartier like I did, you work for brands that were created by creative people, passionate people, often like family stories,
Right.
heritage. And you go in the workshops and like, for Hermès, for example, there was like a man working with like a pair of scissors, and he had this since inherited from people to people in his family, and cutting the leather, and you see all the leather rolls like in the workshop, and it's really beauty and excellence and doing the best that you can do in your craftsmanship. So I love that about luxury brands, and I love telling the stories and creating stories, because marketing is people making people dream.
Yeah.
Like you don't need you don't need a Ferrari. You can have any car to go from point A to B. It's just a car. But having a Ferrari or Aston Martin, you will feel like, because of the marketing, like a spy, like a superhero, like this guy that they depict in the movies where they use the car.
Yeah.
So that's the magic of marketing, is to make you dream about something that you're going to get yourself as a reward when you're successful in life. And I like that.
Yeah. So, what is the biggest takeaway working with luxury brand? How do you think that value is given?
To me or to people is the dream. As I was saying, I believe a doctor or an artist or a luxury brand has the same impact on people's life. Some people would disagree. I'm pretty sure most of people, like they would say, no, a doctor is saving people's life, an artist is not. But I disagree. I feel like mental health, and that's why I want to shift to that maybe in my career in the future, is as important as physical health. Like you can be very fit like physically, but you can still die from suicide, from a lot of things, because you're not happy, you're not feeling good. So I believe that luxury brands or artists or anything which is creative, because for me luxury brands is creative, it's like a non-necessary thing, but that makes you happy. Of course, there is like many other things, but it makes you happy. So
A lot has been happening since COVID with luxury brand and all of that. Even people thought, okay, people will go back and save money because of COVID, but it turns out luxury brand, if it blew up, you have LVMH becoming the biggest company by valuation in Europe and all of that. So do you think everybody wants to be happy, or is there something else under, maybe for signaling the Joneses, like you want to be a part of something?
Of course, yeah.
Is it a dream, or there is some tangible value, or does it put you in a place that you want to be? Or a lot of people have been there already and they just say, okay, I want to be there. You probably have that with a lot of clients. In my experience, some people buy things because they want to
be part of the group, of course.
And some people buy things because they can afford it, just because I can afford it.
Yeah.
And then some people buy things because I want to be happy. I want that emotion. It's like sometimes you're really eager to buy something, and then once you buy that thing, you don't even use it for like up to 3 times in a year.
Of course.
But the thought of having this thing is there. But then there are people who buy the same thing and then they wear it every time.
Yeah. I think we're very social animal. There is like many answers to this. So of course, COVID has changed a lot of things, and of course impacted a lot of people very negatively, but also had a great dose of positive impact, which I believe, because it's very rare in the world that everything stopped like this. In our lifetime, is the first time, and it was like amazing, like case study to see. And for example, in Monaco, the dolphins came back in the bay. In Dubai, like I forgot something at the airport. I went to get like my thing, and there was no one. Like never ever you see Dubai airport with no one, and birds flying, and a whale shark. Also Dubai beach, like crazy thing, which is great for the environment and also for people. We had the time to think, what are we doing? Do we actually need to go like to work like every day like bees like this, or can we actually work from anywhere? Do we actually need to stress so much, or can we also find a balance with our personal life, with our family life? And maybe what I do like purpose for me. Like it was really a time to think and to reflect as a whole community, like about the world, the planet, the environment, but also personally as mental health. A lot of people suffered from mental health at this time. So this COVID for sure has impacted the way people behave. And for myself, like big time, I used to buy like all the latest collection in Zara, and every time like you go and you buy clothes and then you just throw or sell them and you buy again more. And then I realized, what am I doing? So now I shifted that to really consume more consciously. There is like brands amazing in Dubai.
Yeah.
Amazing brands in Dubai, like 3 for Good, for example, which is you can give your clothes for free there, and you can also purchase like clothes which has been like recycled. So it's great. And so I use this. I bought like a lot of things online that usually I would not take the time. So now I buy less and I buy more consciously, and it's better for the environment. It's cheaper as well. So this is first thing. Then for luxury brands, it's a big subject as well, because the definition of luxury really depends on people. For example, for me in Dubai, the perception of luxury, people think, oh, it's like the dripping gold everywhere. It's the parties, it's the Ferraris, it's the yachts, it's the Louis Vuitton, the Chanel bag. But for me, the real luxury, from my point of view, is the safety. That it's only few cities in the world where I feel that way, like Monaco are similar to Dubai in terms of safety. So here you can just like at the airport, leave your stress and live your life and be much more smart and creative and entrepreneur, because you have the luxury to think without stressing. You don't have to stress about like, where's my bag, or did I close my car or my house, or are my kids safe, or am I going to be safe walking back at night, or should I wear this? Maybe it's not safe. So this is for me the biggest luxury in Dubai. So luxury for a lot of people, especially successful people, is actually the time to do things for yourself. Yeah. But for luxury brands, of course, they really understand that people love we are monkeys. We're just like, we just want to associate to, we're social beings. So we have a lot of rules and etiquettes, and which are some of them like official, some of them understated, but it's important for people to show that they are succeeded, to say that I belong to your group now. And that's why brands have certain products dedicated to people who wants to have status, and they have products who are for people who don't need that and who just want quality. For example, my last role as the director of the Middle East for Ralph Lauren, Kenzo, all this brand for bed and bath linen, when you buy bed and bath linen for the price point that I was selling them at, you're not like the people wanted status, because nobody's coming in your bathroom or in your bed to check your bed sheets, you know.
Well, if you're that or who take pictures in the bathroom on Instagram in the bathtub, so if you're this kind of person,
But still, like it's not even branded. You don't see it. It's just the quality, the feel. It's made in France. It's the latest. Like when you go to factory, you see the woman or the man working on this. They have experience. They have many years of expertise, and it's really the finest quality you can find in the world, and it's very expensive. So this is the kind of thing you don't buy for status.
Yeah, you don't buy for status.
But other things like you can buy for status because you want to say, oh, I belong. This is my Hermès bag, and I have 10,000 euros to put in a bag. So here I am. So some people they want that because it's new to them, or just because they enjoy this. But there's also like the luxury as a reward. Yeah. Like I worked really well. This is my dream car, and I'm gonna put it in my vision board, and I want this car. So when I got to this, I reward myself. For me, I reward myself with wellness. I love to get a massage when I do a good deal or this kind of things. But I also love like luxury bags. But now I'm just rethinking, because I'm like, do I actually need them? So I've actually sold a lot.
You probably have a room full of bags already.
I have, but I collect like luxury bags. I love that, and shoes. But really, I thought, with 2 kids, and I really want to invest in myself. And so I'm selling actually the bags, because I'm wondering, do I need actually all these bags? And as you're saying, like you want something, you buy it, you're happy for 5 minutes, and then you move on.
Yeah, it's called a threat that you think it's gonna solve your problem at that point. It's gonna make you happier, but then in the end, you're still in the same state, because you go back to the state where you've been before, and then they message you, oh, we have new collection, spring, winter, and then you
Yeah,
look at it.
it's
and
crazy
you go,
when you think about it.
yeah.
But it's also a question of maturity. I think when you grow older, like you feel less that you want to show off with style. Doesn't need to be with money, but also with style. And you just start to embrace your own style and what you feel good in and what makes you like really feel like I used to dress more appropriate to certain like etiquette. In France, people tend to dress like the same way. When you're in this certain level, you have to be so talk the same way, use the same words. And for me, I was like, my friends were like, oh, your kids look like unicorn and you're dressing like a Barbie. And I was like, yeah. In France, people don't wear colors. You're wearing so many colors. And I'm like, I decided that everything black in my closet is out. I gave it to charity because I was like, yeah, it's actually true. When I was a kid, I was dreaming to be this Barbie girl, to have this. I was playing with a pool and the perfect house and the country club and the convertible. And that's my style. And now I'm like, yeah, this is what I want to be. Not to show anyone, but this is my dream life is this. And this is true. And my kids, like, yeah. And color for me is like happiness. Like I feel the energy and I dress according to my moods. And color is part of that. There's a power to color. My friend Jojo is writing a book about this.
Oh, yeah.
The power of color.
Power of color.
Because she's an artist.
Jojo, we're coming for you.
Yeah.
Being in CRM marketing for luxury, so you've dealt with a lot of people of high value. For the average person, what do you think is the easiest way to provide value for the ultra wealthy?
I don't understand your question.
How do you think that an average person will be able to give value to the ultra wealthy people?
To provide value, being like a normal person, how do you like understand them?
Yeah.
That's why.
How do you provide value for?
Yeah.
What is the easiest way? What do you sell? What is the focus? You have to understand their psychophysics at some point, emotions, senses, what moves them.
Okay. But maybe I'm ultra high net worth client and I just work for fun. maybe I'm a VIP myself. So I understand that.
I mean, yeah, of course. So that's why I'm asking too.
Joking. So yeah, but it's a business like a tactic, like it's a technique. You need to understand that the market is ultra competitive. You might be working for Dior, but they don't have to work from Dior. They don't have to buy from Dior. They can buy from Chanel. They can buy from LV, from any other brand. I think it's what I was saying earlier is that what makes the difference is the emotion. So you need to really think smart, think out of the box, like try to do something different and have a high attention to detail. And I think it comes to a relationship at the end. Like people buy from you a lot of time. We underestimate that, but because they like you. So it's really a human thing.
Somebody that knows someone that close to you.
Yeah, or they love the sale associate. And that's why like a lot of clients, they will buy only from this boutique, only from this person, because you have a relationship and you believe that this person will be working better for you because you know them and you have like special access. So it's both like a technique of making people feel special. For example, in luxury brands, there is always like a category of products which is reserved for VIP clients. In watch brands, if you're a great client, you will have access to this latest watch in advance, or this watch is a limited edition and it's only going to be for the best clients. This kind of techniques, which is just mental games, but these are techniques which are happening. Or in LV, there is like a special room with bags that you can personalize, and this is only accessible for VIPs. So it's like mix of techniques to make the client feel special. And I think it's really relationships. In Dior, I was working with a consultancy, a company, to create like a database where you really study your clients and you know them very well. So, there is nothing worse than being loyal to a brand that doesn't remember you. Like you spend so much money and they still don't know your name, or they don't know what you do. Or the name is the minimum. And that's why Starbucks like really understood so well. When you know your clients and you call them by their name, they appreciate that, even if it's just for a coffee. But a coffee at Starbucks is a luxury product because it's 10 times more expensive than doing it in your home.
Right.
And that's what you do. And so it means like knowing everything. And that's when it comes to the sense of detail, like their ring size, their shoe size, their favorite flower, their favorite food, how many kids they have, what do they do. So this is the kind. Yeah. So that's why CRM is very important, because you gather information about your clients, not to be a spy, but to cater their needs better.
Well, part of it is being a spy because you target them.
Yeah. But it's very important because then imagine how you appreciate that if you go to a hotel that we booked for you because you're coming invited to our fashion week and you have everything is thought about. So you have a letter calligraphed with your name and your kids' photos, maybe because we know you're going to miss them, are already in the room, and you have your favorite flowers, your favorite food is delivered there. How special you feel.
It feels home, It feels home,
And then it's being creative with thinking of stuff that maybe all the brands are competition, so they're trying to do the best, but trying to do something that other people didn't think about. For example, for a Chinese couple, They came with their daughter, and I think she was 3 or 4. So we were organizing a surprise photo shoot with baby Dior. So she came and she was the model. She had a selection of clothes already fitted to her. They didn't know, but we knew her size, we knew everything thanks to the coordination with the other salespeople in other boutiques where they buy. And I think that's the magic of Serum, yeah. So we created a book, and there was like some cupcakes with their name. So it's all of this small attention, which like she would be pleased and remember, oh, when I was a kid I did that, and that was really cool. And yeah.
Yeah. So for what is the bar? Let's say, is how easy or how hard is it to create a luxury brand from scratch in 2023? Is it possible? How?
Of course, I always believe it's possible. Like a luxury brand or any brand, like I always believe there is space for everyone. Of course, there is some markets which kind of saturated because there is already a lot of players. But for example, now I'm the marketing director for Barnes. It's a luxury French real estate company. And there is 20,000, I think, I don't remember the exact number, real estate companies in Dubai. And it's not such a huge market. It's still like a city. So why would they come here? And they're like, oh, we're late in the game, but you're never too late. I always feel like there is so many bakeries in France. We're like a country we love bread and pastries.
People still open bakery.
Yeah, but you can still open your bakery and you will still have your clients because everyone has their own personality, their own way to do that would cater a different kind of client. Even if you open a different bakery, your way of making bread, your way of serving it, your interior design, your stuff will be different. So of course you cannot be just next to another one or to 3 other one because it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, wouldn't make
but
sense.
You can still like open in a place that there is not so many and do your own bread, and you will still like make a lot of money. You never know. And the other technique is to go, if you're a French bakery, to London or to New York or to Dubai.
Yeah,
and then
it sells a lot of Dubai,
then it's
yeah.
become more luxury because. And that's something I would love to do, for example, open a bakery in Dubai, because when I go to France, the first thing I buy, which I don't find here, is the chouquette, which is like a little puff with sugar, which is freshly baked, so good. You don't find this here.
I like that.
And the almond croissant, you find them in Dubai, but it's not the same thing. So I was like, I just bring a French chef, like a pastry and a baker, and I open a bakery, a street bakery, like the same experience, because it's not only the product, it's the client experience. So it's nice to queue, like for your baguette every morning, to talk, to be a street like bakery, because we want the authentic concept of the community of going to Jumeirah. I live in Jumeirah, and it's very like French and very like neighborhood with nice little spots. You know, going and talking to the salesperson every day. Good morning. Yeah, you want the same thing. So I believe like for any brand, including luxury brands, there is always potential. So, but of course it's hard because there is competition. So you better be unique, do things differently. But there is luxury brands opening every day, failing every day, but some of them are winning. So yeah.
So it's about luck. It's about getting
not
the
luck.
system.
I love this.
Or it's about. If it's not about luck, so it's about.
No, I believe it's about like strategy. So it's not gambling. It's not luck. There is a very interesting like course about luck by HEC, which is like the best business school, like most prestigious, like Harvard and this kind of level in France. Is the teacher there? He made an online course. You should watch it on YouTube about a full course. It's like this is the last course he did to like his students, and this today I'm going to talk about. And there is a quote I love from I Love Golf, and there was a famous golf player. They interview him and they say, "Today you won the tournament. You were very lucky." And you say, "Yeah, true," but he said, "I realize that the more I train and the more lucky I get." So that's what I love. Of course, you don't get lucky. You create your own luck. So for the brand, is the same. It's not like a question of luck, really. Of course, there is always a parameter of luck, like meeting the right person, being in the right place at the right time. And we don't do anything alone. This is something I realized.
When you say meeting the right person, being in the right place at the right time, that strikes me like luck, because
it is luck.
You don't know who you're gonna meet.
Of course, but you create your own luck because you need to get out there.
You're right.
You might meet the person, but you're not ready because you didn't do the job before. You didn't meet the person because you didn't go to the spaces where you can meet them. So that's why you need to be ready. You need to have a strategy. You need to really study the market, study your brand, have a very strong plan, especially when you go in a big players competition. And when you have a great plan, then you can succeed. But of course, the luck you will have and you will need, but you will create it because you will create the circumstances where you can meet your luck. So
what if a situation whereby you think you've done everything and you still didn't make it? What would you say went wrong?
First, I would say it's fine. I would always say I get hurt all the time because I like to build a lot of stuff, like with the saw and wooden and whatever. Construction, I love. And I always say, if you sit at home and do nothing, of course you will not get hurt. Nothing will happen to you.
Yeah.
So that's the same with business. If you don't take risk, then for sure you will not fail. So failing has to be something that people need to chill about. And in America, for example, it's really accepted. In Europe, it's not.
Europe is not. Even in Japan, it's not.
Harakiri. I failed. Failing is I love this when they compare it to babies. We learn how to walk by falling down and standing up again and falling down. It's part of the process. You need to fall to learn how to
one
walk.
day you start running.
And why do we forget about this when we grow up? You encourage your baby. They're falling down, you encourage them to try again. So that's the same with business. I would say if it doesn't work, and most probably will not, because this is statistics, most of the business fail. I think it's 90% in the US in the first year that fail, like for business opening. You just fail fast because there's nothing worse than dragging like a business that makes you lose time, money, self-esteem or whatever. Fail fast and move on and start something else and and learn from experience. Like you learn from failure, and failure is inevitable when you take risks. So you can be happy with your failure because it means you tried something. If you tried nothing, if you stay in your comfort zone, if you stay safe, then you will not fail. But are you going to be proud of yourself?
You might fail, but not right now. In the future,
you will fail at life.
Yeah, you fail in the future eventually, and you have to get to 70 to 80 to realize that you failed already.
Yeah, because you failed because you will regret the things that you didn't try because you were scared of failing.
And then you realize that even people that are not smart as you are, who are not better than you, won.
Yeah, because they tried, and because you need to also chill about, and that's why I say it's not good to be perfectionist, because you never get it right the first time. Like you just need to try. I opened a business in Dubai. I was 24 and I did a lot of mistakes and I learned from that. And it's every mistake you do actually teach you a lesson. Either you learn or either you win or you learn. And actually when you lose, you learn more. Like in tennis, if you win your tennis match, you will not take the time to analyze your match like you do. If you lose the match, you will watch the video, you will talk to your coach, you will work harder.
Of
and
course.
maybe
you will know what went wrong.
And maybe you will eventually, most probably, become better from the matches that you lost than from the matches that you won. Because if you win, you're just celebrating and you're happy and you move on. But if you lose, like you question yourself, you work harder, you train harder, you study your technique. So you actually learn a lot more when you lose, even though it's painful. So we need to work on making the pain less hard and just a lesson.
So you made a good point with tennis. When you lose, you analyze better, but when you win, you don't analyze. What if we start analyzing when we win? Does it mean we're going to win better?
Yeah, I'm sure it's okay because I'm lazy.
Maybe if you do something that maybe if you analyze, you see that this is what I did, and then you double down on that. And
I'm sure professional. I've never been professional in sports. My father was a professional tennis player, so I grew up into sport in his academy. So I played everywhere in the US in very good academies, but I was quite good in golf. But when you win, you also, at a professional level, in work or in sport, you actually analyze, it's true. Because you can have something which is, I think, so interesting called a success crisis, when it's doing too well and you're in trouble because you have too many clients, too many requests, and you cannot handle them, and your company can actually crash. No, your company can crash.
Yeah.
Because if the system is not in place for, there is this very interesting photos, and because we're talking about media, there's a yearbook. They take your AI, your picture, and with AI, they make a yearbook, and you look cool, like you're in a student in the US in the 80s. And so many people bought this. You pay maybe 15 or 20 dirhams to get your photo with AI with this. And I tried and it crashed. The website was full. And the person who created this, maybe he's 12, you don't know, but this guy is a billionaire because a million people purchased this 12 dirham package to create your AI photo. It's really ridiculous. So the crisis is that imagine so many people try to buy it and they can't because there's too many people on the website and it crash. People will move on. They forget about this. They do something else. So it's a crisis because it's going too well. So of course, when you're very professional, you study what's happening when you're winning as well, because you're I want to learn the best practice from this winning experience to repeat it because I want more winning.
So you have to contain the network effect of your winnings, because the better you get, the more clients you probably have and the more people hit the network. So either you expand or you contain it. Right.
Yeah, so winning is actually sometimes can be a challenge as well.
So you talked about being at the right place at the right time, doing the right thing at the right time. A lot of people come to Dubai for this.
Yeah, true.
What do you think people are doing wrong in your own observation? What do you think people should do right? You've been here for a long time. You've dealt with a lot of people in your line of work and in your life and experience. How can the common person who wants that lifestyle, who believes that Dubai is a place where I want to meet the right person at the right time?
Yeah.
Is there some formula?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's two things to this. First thing is that First thing is that you need to forget about your assumptions. Like a lot of people come to Dubai like thinking this is Dubai and that's the reason I'm coming here. And then they come and they're like, oh my God, this is too expensive and this is too fake and I don't like this city. And I'm like, you didn't get it at all. This is not Dubai. What you thought about Dubai is not Dubai. What you're doing in Dubai now is also not Dubai. And the reason why you're going to leave Dubai, it's also nothing to do with Dubai. It's you and your perception, and what you're doing here is not actually Dubai. So this is the first thing. I think like there is a lot of wrong perception about Dubai and people come with that assumption. So the first thing I would say is try to experience the real Dubai. And the real Dubai is what you want to do, to like how you want to experience it. And it's very important to some cities, like it's very obvious. You go to France, most of the cities is very obvious. Like the culture is there all around. But in Dubai, you need to look a bit deeper, there's a lot happening here. So if you want, for example, for art and culture, which is a subject I'm passionate about, when I came to Dubai the first day, I was like, is it even Dubai? I feel I'm not in the Middle East. I feel I'm in Las Vegas or in Miami. It's very beautiful, but where's the culture? Where's the art? Where's the soul?
Eventually you find it.
Yeah, and a lot of people talk about the soul and they say it's soulless. And I also believed for some time it was soulless. And I thought I'm coming to Dubai, I would stay 2 years. I even came by chance. I was not even attracted because of the image of the media.
You're here 12 years.
Yeah, I thought 2 years max. And because I studied in Paris and Monaco and in the French area, I worked a lot in the US. So I thought I really want to go back to Singapore. I really loved Asia. But I got this opportunity. I was headhunted, like after my MBA, I was the number one of the MBA. And since it was a Cartier share, they headhunted me to leave Dior to come to work for Cartier, a group in the Middle East. And I thought, okay, I don't care like anywhere as long as I'm not stuck in Paris. So I was like, I'm coming. So anyways, that's the first thing. I think is to really forget about the assumption that you might have from the media and stuff, because it's really, I think, negative and not true. And then change your experience about Dubai. Try to live the real lifestyle, which is like, the culture, you can find it, the local culture, the expat culture, the art scene, like the surfing. There's a lot of real stuff in Dubai happening if you look for it. And the second thing is that the same as love, relationship, and Kay, actually, when I was talking about this, it's like we expect a lot of time people to fill our cup. Right. For work, for relationship, for love, for friendship, for anything. I don't think people should come to a city expecting to meet people that are going to help them. They should help themselves first and be very strong themselves and be on such a frequency that they will attract people. You don't chase people, you attract them when you work on yourself. You do your own work and you work on your projects. So when you're strong, you naturally attract people and you vibrate on a different frequency that will attract people directly to you. It's like a radio wave. So if you're negative or if you're stressed or if you're lost, it's the same with relationship. If you're not in a good position yourself, how do you want to attract someone who's like rich and famous and blah, blah, if you're like just a loser? Become like this person and then you'll be like on the same level. Nobody wants to be like dependent from anyone. So I'm talking about the women that sometimes come from the Middle East, like thinking, oh, I'm going to find a sugar daddy. So no, be your own sugar daddy. Like Cher was saying, the singer, mom was saying like, it's time to get married. When you're going to find a rich man? And she said, Mom, I am a rich man. And I love that. Nice. And it's true. So I don't, in business or anything, like when you come to Dubai, of course, here is like a hub, like in Monaco or some other cities of very smart and rich people. But there is a lot of bad things coming with money as well. There is like scam and a lot of negative things that you can find in any places where there's a lot of money. So you need to be careful as well. You don't find only like nice people. Mm-hmm. So I think the best thing is to focus on your dream and your goal and be that person for yourself. And then you'll attract naturally. That's what I mean by building your own life. Create your own value. You don't even need to put yourself out there. It's just create your own value for yourself, work on yourself, and do your things. And then you'll meet eventually the people I need. But yes, of course, you need to go to places, but you don't have to force it. You have to be ready. If you go out there, but you're not ready, people will not value you or find interest in you because you'll not be there yet.
Yeah.
So do your own work.
It's like one of the things my last guest said. He said, eventually greatness will find you. Yeah.
Yeah. When you're doing good.
Yeah, when you're doing good, eventually. But sometimes it's not like you're even doing this for people. You're doing this for self-expression, for
of course.
What you are.
But no, you have to do it for yourself.
Yeah, the spotlight comes to you.
Yeah.
So.
It's very important. I learned that from a very good boss I had in Paris working for a perfume company. Right. He was a great guy, one of the best person I worked with, super smart, went to INSEAD. And he was not much older than me, but he gave me a great advice, which I loved. It was like, in school, we need like good grades. At home, we need our parents to tell us, this is good, blah, blah. When we go to work, we expect the same thing. Our boss or whoever to say, oh, you did a good job. But he told me, nobody needs to tell you did a good job. Like only yourself know if you did a good job or not. And then it's very important to just know, okay, I'm proud of myself because what I did is good. You don't actually need someone to tell you, oh, it's good or it's bad, but yourself, because sometimes you have not so good managers who will not acknowledge your work. So if you work well and if you just reward yourself and know what you're doing, eventually you will win. You don't need anyone to actually support you. And yeah.
Hey, so let's talk about you pivot into wellness and you've been all of those things. How do you manage to build yourself? You've been in marketing and all of this, and you wanted to go into wellness.
Yeah.
Tell us more about that.
So I've been working for 15 years, like in luxury brands, marketing, sales. I've been like a marketing director, sales director, entrepreneur. I created a company called M Luxury, where I was like, or I still do audit for luxury brands. So as we were talking about COVID, like during COVID, I had a lot of time. I'm a single mom, so I was with my daughter, who's now 5, and she was 2 at the time. And I was like, my goal is to try to sell like more luxury bed and bath linen to wealthy people, to brands. And I don't feel like it's the best purpose in life, even though I'm very passionate about luxury brands and the story behind the brands and everything. But I was like, I want to do something which is more useful for people, something that really benefit people more. So when I gave birth to my first daughter, I had a plan. I thought I wanted to give birth in the water without peridural, and I discovered a full like universe which I had no clue about, and both like extremely rich and positive, and both extremely like violent and negative, and which can be the medical environment sometimes like very cold. And when I say like they treat your body but not your soul or not your emotions. And so that was the case for me. I didn't like the way I was treated. I felt like infantilized like a kid. And I felt like they don't know that we already know as women, that it's inherited, that it's in DNA. It's inherited from generation to generation. We know how to make babies. We have a power to deal with the crazy pain of birth, like of delivering a baby, like all these things. And so I really became like really passionate about this subject. And also for some reason, like I didn't choose to do that, but I started to raise my kids. I realized very differently from everyone else. Maybe because I was already living my life differently from everyone else. All my family lives in France. I came to...
In what way?
For education or for life?
Life is education.
Life, like all my... Usually I was set when I started with Dior. Like I had an amazing job for my age. It was like amazing position, amazing brand. I remember the marketing director bringing me to our office and saying, "What are you going to do in the desert? Stay with us." And I loved the job I was doing for them. I was like in the Devil Wears Prada movie. I was like walking like in Avenue Montaigne in Paris, going to work at Dior and having all these benefits, working with very smart and amazing people. I was like, I could have stayed there, get married, and buy an apartment or a house in the suburbs, and my life was set. But I wanted more. I was like, no, thanks to my dad, I traveled a lot. He sent me to UK the first time I was 6, and every summer I was not going with my friends for holidays. I was doing summer and sports camp in tennis, in golf, like in his academies all around the world. So I was very fortunate, but in the same time, it gave me like an addiction to travel and to explore the world. I always wanted more. When most of the people just stay in their environment, they marry their relative, not their the people like in their.
They want to be together. They want to be alike.
You stay in your same like community, like if it's religious or if it's like social, but you stay in the same community. You wear the same clothes, you buy the same car, and you stay in the same neighborhood, and you do the same job, and you stick to.
You drink the same drink, you know.
You don't go crazy and say no, I'm gonna live in Dubai. When at the time it was not trendy so much. Like now everyone's coming to Dubai, so they're like a bit scared of the Middle East. Is it safe? The people they don't know. In the US, they think Dubai is Iraq, or they don't know. Eiffel Towers in Germany. So the fact that I decided to work abroad and to study abroad and to start my business when I was 24, like to take big risk when I was actually very grateful. Yeah. I had an amazing job. I did the amazing internship. I did an internship with Barbie in Paris in PR for Barbie dolls for Mattel. I did an internship with Hermès at the press office in Faubourg Saint-Honoré, and then internship with Dior. I was hired when most of the interns don't get hired, and I had the MBA, I become number 1 of my MBA, I was set for a very great future in luxury brands.
I was very early.
But you go from manager to senior manager to director, like this was not my thing. I didn't want to wait for someone to decide where I was going to be, like, we can send you to this country if we have space, if we want to. I was like, no, I want to go where I want to. Freedom is the biggest value for me, before money, before anything. So I wanted to be free, I wanted to do my things.
Are you free now?
Yeah, I feel very free, especially now, more than ever. But it comes with a cost, with a high cost, actually.
Where everything, there is an opportunity cost, right?
Yeah.
So what is the cost of freedom for you?
Living away from my family. Like my grandmother passed away last year. I was very close to her. And I didn't see her as often as I wished or as I could if I was like living in the neighborhood. So I think that's the biggest cost. And the second is feeling lonely, because when you draw your own path, when you go like the other way, then people are angry at you. They're jealous at you. They're criticizing you. And you feel a bit lonely because you're not doing like everyone else. So it's easier to be in a group because you feel safe in a group. So when you decide to go your own way, to start your own business, when you don't have money and you're just like, no, I'm going to run the office and I'm going to find ways to pay my employees and I'm going to run the business and stuff. And it worked. My first client was Aston Martin. I was just 24. I just opened my business and I was bringing interns from France, from the best universities, and it was doing well. So that's the thing. I think loneliness and family is the main cost I had to pay for freedom. But I don't regret it because I grow a lot, like on personal development. Dubai is a great hub for that as well.
Yeah,
so
for personal development,
yeah. So the transition for me is something that I'm really passionate about because I really want to do something that's support people. So I'm really interested in everything which has to do with the emotional well-being for women, especially, and for delivering babies, because we are very advanced, especially in France, but in a lot of other countries in Dubai, with the health, like how to treat the body, how to make sure that you're safe, that your baby's safe. But the emotion is a bit like, I think it's not a bit, it's a lot, like not really well taken off, because we used to live in communities, in tribes, in villages,
Right.
where we had like the direct information from the elderly woman, like the people who knew and stuff. And now we don't have it. We're very individualistic cultures. So I think this is something that I really want to work on. And I'm training like to be like doula and birth coach and prenatal yoga. So this is all the trainings that I'm taking to, and I'm writing a book called Magical Birth, about like the living, about the empowerment, the crazy power that we have as women and that we forget, and that we can use, especially when we deliver babies. Like the body becomes so smart, and in a way that we forget that we have this superpower, like so many things. Yeah.
So you think there is a niche that is not being filled yet, right?
It's not a niche. I think there is really a need for. It's more than business for me. It's more like giving back. I've been like very blessed in life. Like I grew up in a very nice family we were like blessed with abundance, and it's also a luxury to have the choice to be like, I'm going to do things differently. A lot of people don't have a choice. Like they have to wake up and think how I'm going to put food on the table, and that's my only mission for today. So they don't have the choice to think about what I want to do in life. There's no option. So I was very fortunate that I had always the option, and I want to do something that is less like for business purpose, but for people purpose. If I can help like one person, it's even enough for me. It doesn't have to be my job, but it's something that I really have a calling for. I'm very sensitive, and we have a lot of everyone has a superpower. Like we're very powerful, much more than what we know. And in my family, there is a gift, like my little sister, she can see the aura, like the color around you. My dad, he could predict stuff. Like he said like a lot of stuff which actually happened, including his death. He said, I'm going to die like this, and he died like this. And it was like super shocking. And my uncle is a magnetizer. It means he can heal you with energy. So every time I have a problem, I go to him. If you're stuck anywhere, he will heal you.
So probably you have some energy. So you should tap into
healer.
it.
So I want to use that. And
have you tried that with somebody before?
I think all my friends always ask me for advice because I have a lot of empathy. So this is healing. When you can feel what people feel, that's what I feel like. I'm very sensitive to energies. So I think I can heal, but I never tried. But that's why I want to work on this, because I really want to help people. I want to do something that's tangible. And so for women in birth, it's not that there's a niche, it's that there is really a need. And so I'm sure and already friends are like, please do this training so you can help me when I'm going to have my baby. So I already have clients.
so you already have your clients?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. So when you started?
Yeah, I already started. So the only thing is that with the babies and the job, like I have a full-time job as a marketing director for Bonds. It's hard to find the time, but I started to wake up at 5 so I can work on my business in the morning, go for a run on the beach, and then start my day. So I think it's not really that we don't have time, it's that we have to make the time. But as I said, like there's a season for everything. So now it's a season for doing the best I can for my new role. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I feel I'm ready, everything is set, I will start to do the 5 a.m. club with myself to start this project. And I feel like people, they would like to play tennis or golf in the weekend. You can create your own business in the weekend. Yeah, we have more time that we think. I was working for Dior, doing an MBA in the evening after work and writing a thesis after my MBA. And I managed. So we have actually a lot of time.
So how can we help you?
by sharing this podcast.
Okay.
Spreading the news. Yeah.
That's really good. Yeah, of course. We'll share this podcast. And
It's about network. I believe when I decided to do that, I put myself like the strategy for the year. I was like, I want to meet women in the wellness industry who are smart, who are like kind, generous. And I started to meet a lot of them. Kay is one of them. I met a doula, Antifen, which is amazing, French, from Martinique, who's in Dubai. I met a British woman in Arabian ranches who's also a healer, and a friend who's a life coach. And I started to do like healing for myself, because you have to start with yourself. And even though I'm already like into yoga since I moved to Dubai, so 12 years, I love yoga. But now I started to make a strategy. What do I want to study? Where? How much it's going to cost me? How long it's going to take me? So that's the plan. And it's just that you need to be kind to yourself as well, and not to try to do too much, because otherwise you need to go and seek care for burnout. I don't want to be there again.
Yeah. So what makes you happy?
I'm happy to be alive. Yeah.
Yeah, happy to be alive, but
no, it's not small. It's actually very big, because I've been very close to that. Like my father died like from a heart attack. He was coming back home from work by bicycle. He was only 60, and suddenly my mom calls me, and my dad is out, and I was very close to him. I was working actually on preparing a website for him. So I finished the full project. We were going to launch the new website I worked for 3 months on this project for his sports and sports business. So, I realized with this, it's a big life lesson that actually life is just not a joke, but this is like social comedy. Life is actually the most important, because in 1 second you can be out. You're dead. And then I lost my grandfather and my grandmother, which I was very close to in the past like 5 years. So it's crazy. So this actually created a big shift in me, which is the reason why I feel really free more than ever, for work, for family, for everything, because I go with my belief. If it's right for me, it feels good. If it feels right, I'm doing it. If it doesn't, I would not have a problem anymore to say, thank you, but I don't need this now. I don't need your comment. I'm grateful, but thank you, no. Before I would just take all the opportunities and try and take people advice. Now I'm like, no, I do my thing, and if it doesn't suit you, then it's your problem. It's not mine. Like I follow my own path. So actually life, what makes me happy is that I am here. Every day I wake up and I'm alive, and the energy from life, which I get to make projects, to give love to my family, to my babies, to myself, this is what makes me happy.
I like that. Like it said, makes you happy. So also we'll wrap up for now. It's been an hour, and once you start this journey, honestly, I would like to have you again, where we talk about everything as the process and giving back.
Yeah. No pressure.
Okay, Harry.
So now I have to make it happen.
Yeah, thanks for coming to the podcast again.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, lovely to have you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.